Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's episode of G-Bear Homesteading the Desert. Having a good old time out here. What you're looking at here is the side of my cabin. I started putting some trim pieces in around the windows and on the seams and across the top. And I am sealed in there right now, except for the corners. Uh, I do have these pieces of metal that I'm thinking about putting on there, and they're already brown, so they'll blend right in with the cabin. I may do that. I need to work something out. Those have one edge is tucked under. It's got a little lip tucked under, about a 1/4 inch, and that kind of like holds it away from the wall and to be a gap behind it. And I don't want that, so I'm gonna figure out if I can set up a way of cutting that piece off nice and clean and straight so that they still look good when I put them on the corners. If not, a couple of pieces of the gray metal like I got over there at Home Depot are not that expensive. They're a few dollars each. So I'll just go buy 2 of those for these corners and 2 for my electric room, because I never did put those on. I still have to put the base boards on there. You notice that my uprights hang 3/4 of an inch down over the top of the metal, and that's intentional because that's where I want my baseboard to finish. So it's got a drip edge so that water running down the wall drips over it and down onto the ground and doesn't follow around and go inside the wall. Of course, there's tar in between the foot or the base of the walls and the wood flooring or the metal flashing. So it is waterproof, but I still like to have that overhang on there. And then I need a case of painter's caulk so I can caulk around all of those boards and get it ready for paint. And then these silver dots where the screws are will all disappear under paint. By the way, look at the sky. Yeah, they might be right. We might get rain, but it's moving pretty much. There's some clouds right over me, but not enough gathered together to make it rain. It does feel like there's quite a bit of moisture in the air. So anyway, let me move around the other side here. I've got the pieces to go over these seams are right inside of here. I had to put everything away because it looked like it was going to rain, so I still got to put that ladder and my screw gun away. On this side, I used up the 1x pines that I had so that I could keep the same look coming across the back here, all except for that one place by the window, because the trim I used around the windows is 1/2 inch thick, and these 1x's are 3/4, so I didn't want it to stick out there, so it'll just disappear. And I still need one more piece to go over that metal flashing. I did caulk that seam so that I don't have to worry about water getting in. Like I said, the only place that I could possibly, if we really got a deluge of rain, could get in the cracks in the corners, but I don't think so. I ran out of caulk, otherwise I would have just caulked that seam too, and that would have solved that problem. You can see all the dust on my screen. I told you about the dust storm we had here. And right now it's got that eerie calm before the storm feeling. So I don't know, I might put things away and worry about that later. They said there's a good chance that we might get rain tonight and tomorrow, but definitely on Wednesday. The change has gone in. I'll come back for that those tools in a little while. Let me get around here. I can go inside now and I can punch my water line through for the washer, and I have to do that because I need to slide this thing back into place and get my laundry hook back up so that I can do a load of laundry here. And I usually do laundry on Sundays, but on a good note, I couldn't have done it on yesterday because the winds were too strong and there was dust blowing around, and I didn't want to hang my clean clothes on a line just so they can get dusted. You can see how I trimmed out around the air conditioner also and around the windows. Kind of gives it a nice subtle look. Doesn't jump out at you. I like it. Once it's all painted desert tan with I can't grow them, so I'll paint bushes on the side here. Kidding. Or maybe not. I'm thinking about doing that on my containers when I paint my containers tan, and just getting out my artist brush and painting some little desert bushes on the side there so that it looks like all the bushes around here against a gray background. All right, that's all there is to it. The girls are out today free ranging. They're all fed now. I'm going to close them up pretty soon. It's getting time to close the upper flaps on that coop up there because it's been getting chilly at night, and the egg laying is dropped off by 1 egg a day. So I've got to get them a little bit more comfortable in there. They were out early this morning. Got to get that, and then all of this stuff, I've got to get this cleaned up and all put away before the weather goes south on me. And I still got to build a cover for my compost. And I did promise yesterday that I would take you down and show you my plants in here and how they're doing. Let's do that. You can see my cantaloupe hanging on the outside of the unit here. I guess the ground squirrels tried getting in here a bunch of times and realized they can't, so now they just don't even come around here because nothing has touched that cantaloupe. So the other one that's inside here is also doing real good. Right there, it's about the same size, and then there's a little one down there. That little one I don't think is going to go anywhere. It's too late in the season. But I did want to show you this over here. Look at my cucumber. Oh yeah. And this little one down here is a little distorted, but still I'll make a good slicer for a little cucumber for a sandwich. Now, I did see some others growing in here, but I don't see anything on them right now, so I'm going to have to feed the plants again probably tomorrow. You can see the greens are still growing good. My tomatoes coming up just fine here. My other tomatoes are looking pretty good. I got flowers on these over here. They're looking healthy. I'm going to see what I can do about maybe still getting some tomatoes this year out of that. All my trees are looking good. There's one of my pears. There's the other pear up there. These all need to be fed. I think these buckets are too small for these trees, so what I might do is build a box like that, but build it 3 foot tall here, maybe even 3.5 feet tall, and fill that with soil, and then plant my trees in there staggered. So I can go all the way from this front wall almost to 4 feet from the door and still have plenty of room to move around in here. And then before next season, I want to get this self-watering garden going. All right, that's about all there is to it. Just wanted to cover that. My cilantro is coming up finally in the background there. My purslane is growing in every one of these buckets, and the great thing about this purslane is you can break off any one of these stems, stick it in some soil and water it, and you'll get a whole new plant. My watercress down in here, I gave the girls some of these stems of the grass. They ate those up in no time. But they're getting spoiled to those green beans. My apple tree looking real good. So I think next year I might even get some apples to set on this one. All right. G Bear signing off.